chair a little bit closer. There you go.
Okay, we are live. We've got Big Dan Roberts here on the left. Dan, can you just wave there, let people know that you're not Rob. Rob's in the middle, Rob Sherwood, and Jeff Pasola.
Welcome aboard, team.
Okay, cool. We'll be back shortly. Yep.
We're a professional.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We did bring you on up the standards.
Righto, we are back here, Lofty 88.9 radio with altitude. We're in the football hour, half hour now, and another big guest, very special guest, Pistols, who's soldered in here, and we're ready to roll straight into it.
Well, big guest. We've actually had to get the carpenters in to widen the door to get this bloke in. No bigger man in the Hills League than Daniel Roberts joins us from the Hahndorf Football Club. Dan, welcome into the Huddle Reformed.
Thanks, gents. Thank you for having me on.
Now, six flags, mate.
Yeah, yep.
And I believe you and Scotty Perlin.
Scotty Perlin, that's right, with Lester Francis. So,
yep.
All sitting on 6, and would love to try and make that 7.
Yeah, fantastic. So, Magpies, once again, up there, but bit of a reality check, you reckon, the other week with the, it was near shock horror when you hear that you've been knocked off. How's it go down with you guys? You forgot that losing feeling that...
Yeah, it'd been a while. It was round 3, 2018 for me.
Yeah. Anzac Day, I think.
That's right, yeah.
Partner.
Yes, exactly, yep. It was a bit of a wake-up call. I personally blame Perling for having a trip away to Cairns. But no, look, we definitely didn't make the most of our options and were pretty poor in front of goals and ultimately paid the price for it. And yeah, disappointing, but a wake-up call, definitely.
Hey, Dan, I think I know. Where did the football journey begin for you? All through Hahndorf, under 10s, is that right?
I think you know pretty well, Goldie.
Played together.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Senior ruckman.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm blind. It was tell us about it.
Exactly right, yeah. Goldie was right and I was right over back then.
Yeah, no, honestly.
So he obviously taught you the trade.
Yeah, he did, he taught me everything I know. But I think it was under 10s or under 9s or something along those lines. Me, Goldie and Perling started off our footy journey at Hahndorf and worked our way through the ranks there. And I reckon we
2 out of 3, ain't bad.
Yeah, 2 out of 3, that's right.
Sorry,
I'm 6 behind.
Sorry.
Bit of catch up to do, Goldie. But yeah, no, I think we actually had a great junior team. I think we didn't lose for 2 or 3 seasons in a row and worked our way through the ranks and me and Perling sort of separated and went separate ways in under 17s. He went down to Sturt and I went to Eagles.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you, Daniel, you're actually, career-wise, I suppose that's what we senior games, 265 games. Are you aware of that?
No.
Yeah, well, there you go. See, the show, you learn everything.
Yeah, nice.
So that encompasses, I suppose. Tell us about your times down at Woodville West Torrens.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I went down there under 17s and played a year there and then a year under 19s and then quickly found my way into the reserve side and then ultimately played a bit of league and reserves and jumped between the two for a few years. So probably from 05 to 07.
Was that frustrating not be able to cement yourself as a league ruckman? So
yes,
Adam Grokey was there?
We had Brad Dabrowski, Paul Lindsay, and Brett O'Hara. So it was pretty good company. So I could understand it, and being a pretty short ruckman really for SNFL level, it probably held me back a little bit. But I broke in my last year, and I think I played something like 16 games, and only got dropped once. So it was sort of the same year or following on from the year where I went in the draft and really had the realisation that I wasn't a great kick and it was probably going to hold me back. He trained with Port for a couple of days and that was the feedback. But went on and played a year of league and was pretty happy with that and decided I didn't have the time commitment to keep going. So
yeah. Hey, the question's got to be asked because your dad John Roberts, one of the all-time great full forwards.
Woodville, South Melbourne, Sydney, West Torrens, North Adelaide.
All Australia at one stage, I think, or
maybe.
But anyway, what I'm getting to, try to just stretch it out, is the kicking ability of the Roberts boys. Because
Ken Farmer medalist, the old man.
Ken Farmer,
that's right, yeah.
So you look at yourself, you're not too bad. We'll get to that a bit later. We've seen you kick goals, big moments. Lukey Dookie, he's not too bad, but Matthew, like, what goes on there, mate? Drops the ball sideways, whatever.
Yeah, probably pretty high ball drop, and I don't know. There's a bit going on there. He's quite comfortably the worst of us. But yeah, look, I don't know. That was a bit of a dead-eyed dick, and I think
did he get you in the backyard? And
he did. And, I guess kind of why he went bald because he's pulling his hair out. But no, yeah, look, I mean, my son's a great kick. That was a great kick. Looks okay. So I'm not that great, and Matt's pretty average.
We'll see the kick him as Goldie mentioned. We'll get to that. Council get to that.
Just the notice here, Div 1 Amateur League. You played for Jeff's Cross.
Yeah.
Jeff's Cross.
We don't talk about that too much, but
you featured in the SAFL under 23 representative tie, centre half forward, in the league's team of the year.
Yeah, Jesus, it's going back a bit.
That's 07.
07, okay, yeah, 07. I would have said 08, but I did. I had a year. Well, left the Eagles and went to Jeff's Cross, and
so we're talking about Duncan Fraser Reserve. The ground?
Oh, mate, I couldn't tell you.
I can remember playing there on Saturdays, mate. And the visitors' change rooms, you had to go.
Shop? It was actually.
You had to go outside to get changed because they're so small.
Yeah. It was. Well, they actually, when I got there, they'd just introduced pokies. Believe it or not, they had an RSL that had built onto the footy club there. But no, it was a bit of
the Bulldogs, aren't
they? A bit of a shock. The Rams.
Sorry, colours, sorry.
But yeah, look, it was actually a good year. Funny enough, I played against Goldie that year. He was at Edwardstown.
Matt Goldie.
Yeah. Yep. The coach now, and he was a great player. But I always hold it over.
Did you give him one?
No, he was much bigger than me. But I do hold it over him. That year we had the team of the year, and I was centre half forward, and he was on the pine. So I remind him of that regularly.
So off the States, part of a premiership there.
Yeah. I ducked back to Hahndorf for a couple of years.
Under Gary
Carlson.
Okay.
Yeah, and we made the prelim. Got knocked out by Blackwood to get into play the mighty Radler, who were, I think, going for number 7 in a row back then, or 8 in a row, or something like that.
That was 2011.
He went to Huddle for 09, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. 09, yeah. And then 2010 under Trevor Potts.
Yep.
And then I decided to go back to more down the spot and play with some mates. So
yep.
Under Trevor Hill.
Very good coach. Of course, success.
Yep, definitely. So he'd just come across from Norwood. And I signed up, and he was a fantastic coach. And we went back to back, so I Div 2 flag,
yes,
and then a Div 1 flag the following year. So
not too many clubs have done that.
No, well, we were the first ones to have done it in something like 60 odd years, and then PAC did it like 5 years later. But
so,
it was a fantastic time.
2014, you come back to the Magpies, and you're probably thinking, what have I done? I've left the successful club because under Craig Smith, and no offence to him, you finished bottom because that's the year a lot of people went overseas and whatever. So
it's funny you say that. Yeah, well, Luke just texted me before. He's in Croatia, and he said, good luck on the show. But that year we had a whole bunch of guys go overseas. I think there was about 7 of them. I was maybe included in that 7.
Okay.
And you thought about not continuing on football, is that right? Around that time? And
that's right.
Trench Rule, and then guys had a bit of a chat to you to convince you to continue playing?
Exactly right. Well, yeah, I came back, and obviously we hadn't won too many games, and guys like, I think, Hankin and Buzz and Pels had all been injured and were out for the rest of the season. It was just a shocking year, and I decided to do my MBA and my Masters in Business Administration the following year, and retired. But yeah, got a phone call, I think it was the 29th of June from Plugger, Trench Rule, and quickly signed up, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, retired, and look, the rest of it's just history. Let's get to 2015, you're talking about not being a very good kick. Well, that last quarter was just absolutely, just show the viewers
there.
There's
the mark.
Yeah.
One of the two.
We'll get you there, we'll autograph that before you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So just take us through that, because I think it was line ball. In fact, your Radler got in front at about 13 minutes last quarter.
Late in the match.
You were a bit crook, so Matt went into run.
That's right.
You went forward.
I'd actually done my
Could hardly walk.
Could hardly walk. Could hardly jump. Yeah, pretty much career ending. No, I mean, we've been getting spanked all day, to be completely honest. In 3/4 time, I reckon we're down by about maybe 3 or 4 goals. But we made a bit of a move. Matt had been doing an amazing job in ruck, and we decided to swap in with Luke, who came in, and he was just jumping all over downs. And got some good delivery, and
Oh,
Plucked a couple and kicked a few goals. And
True or false? I mean, I wrote it here, so at the time it was true. Did you dream about kicking a winning goal in the grand final?
I did actually. Yeah. I had a dream about it and woke up and said, "Shit, I hope that doesn't happen." And admittedly, when I was lining up, I think I keep trying to put us level and the other ones to put us in front. And I thought I might miss this. I better go back pretty quickly and kick. But kicked it, and then I think we sneaked in a couple of other quick goals before the end of the game. And it was a
20-point win.
Yeah, it was a good turnaround in the end.
Bottom to top as well.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so it was the start of a great era. For both the A's and B's.
Yeah.
2016, then Craig Smith again, Torrens Valley grand final. Similar scenario, if I remember correctly.
8 points down, 3/4 time.
Yeah. And at Loberthal.
That's right. Yep, Loberthal. I hadn't played a lot that year. I broke my ankle, both bones, round 1, so I'd missed most of the year. But
that's the injury you've been carrying since the grand final 2015, mate.
That's right.
So you weren't lying.
Very good. But look, we'd been getting spanked again. Torrens Valley were a pretty good side that year, and we didn't switch on until the last quarter. And probably the star of that game, I'd say, was Luke. I think he kicked 4 goals in the last quarter or something like that. He really turned it on and come away with the win.
And of course, just a couple more to follow up with, and also a couple of best on ground awards by yourself. So you must be pretty proud of that as well.
Yeah, yep.
I know it's a team game, but to get those accolades.
Was that against Onkers, the best on ground Alec Parker medal?
Yep. Onkers and Onkers in what was that, 2019, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was a good game. 18 and 19 were great games. I think probably the only grand finals really played in where we were quite comfortably in front. Come sort of 3/4 time and felt like we weren't really going to lose it in the last quarter, so we got to enjoy it a little bit. So it was a bit of a different vibe and probably played 2 of my better games against your Adler and Onkers in 18 and 19.
And the Lobe grand final was, plus the fact that they'd beaten you in the second semi, so
bit of feeling in that one.
And down at half time too.
Yeah, again, I talk about 2017 as being the wake-up call, the grand final that we lost, but certainly that 2020 final against Loberthal was also a wake-up call. Admittedly, we did have Troy Parker-Bores and myself out, but I think it was just that jolt to the system that we needed. We weren't invincible and maybe got ahead of ourselves a little bit. But came out obviously a couple of weeks later, beat Blackwood and then to the grand final, and that was a close game as well. Again, down at 3/4 time and came out and gritted a win. And Dill Matson was the champion of that game. That's the best individual performance I've ever seen. He was phenomenal.
Hey, you're talking about individuals and performances. I think I talked to you last year after the grand final, after Jesse Landers, the young guy for your Adler, and you talked about how you love the competition and the ruckman over recent years, like Matt Down, Jeremy Jakes, Will Young, Brady Dorr, Landers last year. Just tell us about how you love the competition of it all.
Yeah, I think we have some great ruck stocks in the HFL, and certainly have over the last few years. Who you just mentioned, Jesse Landers, he's going to be a great player, and is at the moment. He's fantastic, big, strong, big jump, and does a lot around the ground.
Of course, Brady Dorr, you had to go against him in
Brady
that 2020 season.
Yeah, he's a bit too tall and too big a jump for my liking, but it was great to play against him in that 2020 grand final. We unfortunately didn't get to play against each other a whole lot because one of us was always missing a game, but that was fantastic. And of course, Dan Scholl would be probably the number one, I think. Just love how he goes about it. You're really mobile, picks the ball up off the ground. I think you're the biggest guy on the ground. A couple of times if my back doesn't give out. But I think being the biggest guy on the ground, you have to go for those ground balls as well as in the air, and that's what I like about Dan Scholl's game. He's just got everything. He's a great player. Doing it right in Sturt at the moment.
And also congratulations, Daniel, a couple of weeks ago you were made a life member of the Hahndorf Football Club. Must be a great honour for you. Also Luke, as you said,
Combined, Matt, Luke and
the three of you.
550 plus games, 16 A grade premierships.
Would that be a family record for Hahndorf? I suppose might be a few Gribbles or something.
16 premierships.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
The Gribbles might be contesting there, but look, it was a great day. Pretty proud of what we've achieved, the three of us, and it probably kept me going a bit longer than I would have intended.
So,
Trying to get life membership, but got it now.
So what, you're 36 now?
I will be, yeah. So
Well, no,
Yeah.
you're still...
Plenty
Well,
of
check
I'm
it,
going to hold on to
mate.
35 there, Pistols.
It's an opportunity, mate, for you to continue your career, because obviously the body takes a bit of wear and tear in the rut, like move yourself as a permanent forward. And
Forward pocket, mate.
something like that. We know you can kick them.
No, I think Pearls is probably better suited to the forward line.
We've seen his work too. It's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, he is. No, I think I might find myself probably in the B grade and try and jag a few games with my son, who's
Yeah.
I've already played a B grade.
Penn?
Penn. Yeah, he played a B grade game at the start of the year, and
How good was that for you to run out with your lad?
it was awesome. Yeah,
He's about your height.
Oh, really?
He's a little bit shorter,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't kick
Yeah.
the ball too often. I'm generally handballing, but I kicked it probably about 50 odd metres to him. He was in the goal square by himself and he dropped it. So I think that was. Hopefully, we can have a few more link ups in years to come.
Yeah, you haven't always been ruck though. Like I think you played a bit of centre half forward. Is
Yeah.
that-
Well, we're talking about Jeps Cross. That's actually the first year that I've been delivered some news. Trained with Port Pirie, and they said, you need to learn how to kick or play a different role. And I went, back and played Sample and ended up, going to Jeps after that. And that was my first true centre half forward year, like the whole year, just playing centre half forward. And after that, I felt pretty confident. I sort of really worked on my kick and then came back to Hahndorf as a centre half forward and went down to St. Peter's as a centre half forward, but ended up back in ruck eventually. So, haven't always been a ruckman and spent some years at centre half forward. And I'm not a big fan of full forward. Not enough action down there.
Hey, as we do with the guests that we have on, we always ask them just a few little club questions. So this one would have been easy to answer for the last couple of years, but unfortunately there's probably a new candidate now. Who's the biggest pest at the club at the moment?
That has changed recently.
And by the way, if you're watching on the Facebook live stream, if you got any questions for Dan and they're above board, just send them through and I'll check them out in a few minutes. So yeah, continue on. Sorry, Pistol.
Biggest pest. Look, honestly,
Is he irreplaceable?
well, he's irreplaceable. I hope to see him back in black and white soon or someday. But a few of the young boys are probably in contention. One lad's probably Dan Sanders. Seems like he likes to get up to a bit of mischief after a couple of cans. But I haven't spent too much time back at the club after games.
Okay.
in recent times.
Who hogs the mirror after the game? Who sort of wants to look their best, or even before the game? Because we
Probably
know
Cooper Hoff and Zach Gribble, maybe. I reckon.
because their man, the comb over man.
Yeah, came over, Ingram, yep. He definitely has a little peaked himself a couple of times. But I'd say those three are pretty good company there.
Hey, the coaches, as you said, at Hahndorf, you had Gary Carlson, Trevor Potts, Craig Smith, and now Matt Golding. Your thoughts on those guys?
Look,
Obviously, a few prelims under Potts and Carlson, and then some premierships with Smith and Golding.
yeah. I mean, they're all very different. Definitely, my favourite out of all of them is Goldie. Goldie, I have a lot of respect for him as a player and as a coach, most definitely. Really good at addressing the group and just knows footy so well. And has obviously had a lot of success. Craig was very different, had a bit of success as well. Popsy, it was okay. Gary Carlson was great, but that was a long time ago.
Over your journey at Hahndorf, who's the Hahndorf footballer you've really enjoyed being in the side with, and you've enjoyed watching them go and do their stuff? Obviously, the goats up there.
The goats,
but,
well, he'd have to be number one, and without question. He's got the best hands, can read the ball, but he's the best. But it'd be a pretty close tie out of Cheney and Jensch. They've just got that X factor. Talk about Pilling, knowing, reading the ball and knowing the game, but no one knows it better than Kyle Cheney. He can literally be 10 metres off his opponent and take a chest mark. He's in the back line. It just doesn't make any sense sometimes. But and certainly Jensch as well has that thumping kick and just that determination and
And
grit.
back in the day, we talk about goal kicking, because I think we did the Call of the Wild there when he actually didn't kick a goal in the first half, ended up with about 15 or something, didn't he? Or talking about Big Darcy, of course you set him up with a couple of big speckies. It must have been great to see some of the goals he manufactured.
Yeah, a freak. Got that X factor, and it's great to see him this year playing some awesome footy.
Yeah.
I couldn't play against the game out at Nan, but he was just phenomenal. But yeah, he'd probably be the best amateur forward I've ever played with before.
Yeah.
You started your own business too, is that right? Like the Olympic Party High with Bryn Coudray back in the day? Is that still going?
It's Bryn.
Yeah.
You've done your research.
Hey, mate, we don't
The
forget
big
anything.
albatross.
Yeah.
Wingspan on his
That's
leg.
exactly right. Yeah, the big Olympian. Yeah, we started Olympic Party Hire, looking for something to do, and started that up, and of course sold that to my brother Matt, and he's taken it and built that into an absolute empire. And it does very well.
Now, was there any chance, I know you're in the medical profession, that sort of stuff, but any chance of your career drifting into soap operas or acting after absolutely fantastic work you used to do in the Book Boy ads? Iconic. I think they've locked away in the national treasures of film.
Jeez, you guys have really put out all the
In fact, we'd
stops.
have to dig them up.
Oh, let's not do that. I don't think so. No.
For a bloke who can't read, you did pretty well.
That's right.
Either Brighton or what? Famous Five? Or?
No, I don't think so. Look, Dad, really guilted us into that, and we never lived it down, to be completely honest. Shocking.
Got a comment here from Matthew John, of course. Did you?
Wellington boy.
Now I'll read it. I'm not too sure what he means here. Did you use to love tapping the ball to stick when he was playing in the Five Flags you played together?
Oh,
You know
that's a
what-
good question, actually.
You know what he's
Yeah,
getting at there?
Yeah,
Thank
he's
you,
talking about
Matthew.
Michael Hamby.
Okay.
He is sorely missed because, he is just such a big, immovable
Yeah.
object.
It's-
I would just hit to him non-stop, and he was fantastic. You should probably agree, he probably blasted the ball forward a little bit too much and didn't look for targets, but yeah, definitely miss Handles.
Because coaching Morph at Vale now with some success.
That's right, yeah, they've been going all right. I think they're in the mix. So
Yeah, fantastic. And the competition as a whole this season seemed to have improved. As you mentioned, Nan Bremer before, they've improved.
Yeah,
Obviously, look at Mount Barker, bottom last year, and they're sort of
they're good.
up there this year. And
Yeah.
we saw them Saturday, very good. They beat Blackwood, who beat you, and then throw Lobie in the mix. Your Radler are there, so
Yeah. I think look, definitely Mount Barker are fantastic. We played them, and I thought they'd really improved. And look at the talent that Loberthal have picked up, and yeah, they're going to be right up there as well. But it's good to see the comps are pretty level this year, I think.
Hey, as we said, Alec Parker medalist, big time performer in grand finals. Do you love the big game, the big time matches, finals sort of stuff, and how do you get yourself up for them?
Yeah, I mean it's a very different feeling and a very different game, and probably as I've got older, I've learned to conserve my energy and my body during the minor rounds and save it all for end of year. But look, absolutely love finals, and grand finals, like I said, are a different game. You really just have to treat everyone like your last. You just don't know when another one will come around, and I've enjoyed playing in them and performing in a few.
Now, because we had big sheets betting on last week for Nan, as we said, we asked him any superstitions or anything, and his pre-match routine, I think he says a steak with spinach on it, boys, a gourmet steak. But any things that you do the same every week, or what do you eat? What do you fill the big frame up with?
No, it's not really anything I eat. It's actually it's a bit embarrassing, but I've got these jocks that I wear, and they're almost falling apart. I have to wear them.
I like Steve Wall with the red handkerchief.
Yeah, pretty much. But they're hanging on by a thread at the moment. But I wore them against Blackwood and we lost. But I figured out that it's actually because Pearling didn't play. So I have to wear them, and Pearling has to play.
That could be a bit dangerous there, D-Rob, like if they're on their last thread.
They fall off.
Wouldn't want any sort of Mark Rasciuto incidents.
Yeah, that's
out
right.
the
Some
shorts.
interesting images come up on the Facebook page.
Front page of the Courier or something.
Well, there we go. Spot the ball, so to speak. All right, we'll move on to, as we do get the tips from our guests who's in there, for this week's round, we'll start off with country division. Kersbrook Macclesfield, we know you're an avid follower of all the competitions, Daniel, so how do you reckon?
Am I?
Oh, is it? So yeah, Kersbrook. This will be good because Lockie Peter and almost
because Mackie beat them last time,
Yep.
round one. Because they're the
Was
second
it
half.
the
No,
ladder there as
yeah.
well? Yeah, Robert,
Yeah,
so-
over here.
There you go, thank you.
Yeah.
So who are Kersbrook playing? Sorry, we've got
Macclesfield.
Okay, I'm going to say Maxfield.
5v6, yeah.
There we go.
No.
Yeah, Rob.
No, you go first, Colin.
Gee whiz. I'll go Mackie just.
I'll go Mackie.
I think Kersbrook at home, as I said, they got beaten first time, but
Almost beat Meadows.
almost beat Meadows, so I'm going to go for the Brookers. Meadows v Torrens Valley. Torrens Valley having their second win in 65 games last Saturday.
Wow.
Daniel? So-
Yeah, I think they'll probably go. Brady Dawes out at Meadows, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, to get Meadows.
Meadows.
Yeah, well done to Adam Penny
Yeah.
and the crew, but I think
Medals to
Meadows,
me.
Kangaroo Ironback, which is the Courier
Courier
Cup
Cup
final,
final.
because you'll be down there, Rob.
No, it won't be.
Oh, okay. Good to see you sports. So top of the
Yeah.
table.
I think
Match,
Ironbank
Daniel?
have been pretty solid so far this year, so we're tipping them.
I'll go Kangaroo at home.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
some
with
might
Ross
go
and that
Kangaroo
kicking
too.
goals, yeah.
All right,
Roscoe?
I'll go Kangaroo as well, I think.
Yeah.
At home.
And the final game, which is at the Velodrome, one of your favourite grounds out there. Remember playing at Birdwood?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Birdwood hosted Gumaraka, who had a shock loss last week, so they'll be pretty fired up. The Northern Magpies, your cousins.
Yeah, that's right. I think you'd have to go Gumrack then, wouldn't they?
Yep, Gums.
Yeah, I think Gumaraka.
Gumaraka for me, Pistols. Div 1.
All right, Div 1, and some cracking games this week, I tell you what. So Blackwood, after they knocked off the almost unbeatable Magpies, they take on Urada, and these clubs don't like each other. There's always
Is
a
it
bit of
Blackwood?
feeling
Yeah.
at
Grand
Blackwood.
final rivals and
Blackwood.
finals. Yeah.
Uh,
Of course, Blackwood had a few out last week against Mount Barker.
Yep.
Blackwood.
Blackwood a win ahead in 5th spot, but they have very much inferior percentage to Urada.
I'd say probably Radler, to be honest. Yep.
Amabo playing?
Find out. Not
Oh,
sure.
that's a good point.
That's
No?
the point.
Yeah.
We have to find that out.
Find that out during the week. Who you-
Oh, just asking.
Okay.
I'm going to go Blackwood at home.
Yeah, they're pretty bad last week, Goldie. I think they would have been a bit shell-shocked. Maybe they thought beating the Magpies, this is going to be easy, but as you said, Mount Barker, a different kettle of fish. They had a few out, whether they get Lewis back, whether
Crowe,
Zebra
yeah.
Boy. I'm going to go for Blackwood at home just.
All right, I'll go Blackwood just as well
That's right.
at home.
Okay, Raiders, Bridgewater Callington down at
Had a
the...
few injuries.
facing Onka Valley, who yet to get a win on the board. Only one goal last week, Onkas, but could this be the opportunity to break the ice, Daniel?
Oh, I think Johnny Mack's back this week, so I'm going to say the Raiders.
Johnny Mack.
Well, they'll have plenty of pace around with his addition.
He's got a nice foot. Don't know about pace.
Rob.
God. Bridgewater.
Okay.
Raiders.
Yeah, final game for the season, I think, down at
At
Aztec.
Aztec? No, I think they play Hahndorf at Aztec.
Oh, they do too. Good on you,
Yeah.
Daniel. And the
Ah,
weather
God.
forecast.
You'll be out that one, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah, ankles playing up.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't played on that local for about
I think the Raiders, just because it's at home.
Raiders just for me as well.
Okay, Nan Bremer hosting a Chunga. Chunga having a win. They actually won 2 in a row now.
Nan would be pretty comfortably the favourites there, I think.
Yeah, if Nam want to play finals, they've got to
Yeah,
win
agreed.
that.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yep, yeah,
And-
good comment,
and
Rob.
If they want to play finals.
Mount Lofty hosts the Magpies over at Goat Park, which I believe the council actually issued a statement that they weren't allowed to train the oval because of the weather forecast.
Is that
They've
right?
just spent a lot of money on the drainage and everything, so you
Okay.
thought it'd be okay
Might
to
not be
train.
a mud
it.
patch once.
There was a
Yeah.
heap of rain on Monday, though.
Well, it rains
It's
everywhere.
common sense. Is that the first bit
What,
of common
did they,
sense?
were they
from
allowed to
Adelaide
train at
Hills Council?
Bridgewater or all the other ovals in the Adelaide Hills Council area? It's winter.
They train at Hahndorf, mate, with that rain?
Did you train last night?
Nah, he's got a sore ankle.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
didn't.
Yeah.
Not a modified program, mate.
Yeah, I am.
Home and smoking jacket with the rugby.
Absolutely.
Just obviously some of the younger guys have stepped up this year, so just give it a little bit of time, but they're gelling and
Yeah, they are. Oh, look, I mean, we had some gaps to fill, and we filled them pretty well. But we had some ready-made players playing in the B grade for the last few years, so you know.
And also, you mentioned some of your ruck competitors, because Big Chamber this week.
Yeah, yep. I forgot about him. But yeah, if you're asking me, I think
Nah,
we've
we
got them covered.
You struggled there last year, did they?
It was closer. It was a
It
month,
was
yet, but it was a.
all is good.
Within
fun.
10 goals? Yeah, I always have an upset, don't I?
Yeah.
Every week.
If you got any final questions for Big D, Rob, just send them through before we go on.
Well, it won't be this game, Hahndorf.
I think Mount Lofty got the win on the board last week. Been a bit disappointed that the Masters of losing by under a goal, I think 3 times,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be more margin this time. But they'll have a crack, but I just think this, they're playing a 5-time premiership side, so I think Hahndorf will be too good goalie.
Sensational.
All right, and the final game will be the
Yeah,
final
Hahndorf for
game.
me,
And
by the way. Not
yeah, and
sensational.
looking very looking forward to this one. Mount Barker hosting Lobe, so
Back at the summit,
back at the summit.
and
so
the winner plays.
winner will play you blokes in the
in the
Courier
Courier Cup
Cup.
final.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually think Barker might have them. I reckon they're going alright. They're looking good, and I reckon they'll match up well on them. So I'm going to say Barker.
Yeah, no, I'll go Lobie. This is my upset, this one.
I don't know if it'd be an upset because they're actually sitting equal top with these guys. So Mount Barker very good last week, but I just think this is a real acid test for him. I got to go for Lobe.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. That's good.
Well, I'll balance it
It
out.
won't be an upset.
You're going to go
that's what I'm
Mount
saying.
Barker, Benny.
Yeah, I'll go Mount Barker.
You said it'll be an upset. I don't think
So the two Hahndorf boys have gone for Mount
Going
Barker.
for Mount Barker, Daniel. A Hahndorf
Yeah.
boy going for Mount Barker.
Jeez, that's
Breathing
unheard of.
space.
Hey, just before we round out, and I checked the phone a final time. Last week we were out at Mount Barker. They had the Indigenous Reconciliation round with the new mural through there. Last year, of course, you had the Indigenous round at Hahndorf and the Guernsey. That pretty special day for the club.
Yeah, that was actually. Rigby Barnes' brother designed that Guernsey, and look, I mean, it was a fantastic day, and we all got to purchase our Guernsey, and certainly got mine at home, and yeah, it was great to pay tribute to our Indigenous players, and yeah, it was fantastic.
A question that's always been burning for me since to find out if it actually did happen after last year's grand final. Of course, we called that absolutely riveting. Had about 270,000 views. The last 30 seconds of the reserves game, and that iconic statement by Daniel Stone, who is actually leaving us to leave in New Zealand shortly, Stoney, so he'll be sadly missed, about Sammy Hill will be getting trashed tonight. Did it actually happen?
Yeah, definitely, but he wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I know. But you know what it's like to dominate in the grand final. Kick
yeah.
goals, but to kick the one that wins the game.
Yeah, you got to have nerves of steel to do that, and yeah, he did it.
And as you said, you've got a ready-made squad there, Daniel, so it must be good to see some of these blokes get the opportunity. Like you said, the Xander boys have come through.
Yeah, that's right. It's been quite a few guys.
Some of them have served a long apprenticeship.
Well, that's right. I mean, Jordan Scholl's done really well in the back line, coming up from the B grade and doing, dominating the B grade for the last couple of years. And look, there's been guys coming in and out and getting their go, which is great to see. So.
Yeah.
And just final one from me. Just I understand BJ Yench came down from during the week and gave a bit of advice to the forwards.
Yeah.
And a bit more accuracy on the weekend. Cooper Nivecamp kicking 7-1.
That's
Do you know
right.
any intel there from your brother at all? What the great Brenton Yench had to tell the forwards?
Yeah, there's a few secrets of the trade that I'm allowed to share, but I think one in particular, a couple of guys, let's get a bit more momentum going into the goals. No walking in. I think that was one that Luke took away from the session, but yeah, it certainly worked for Cooper. I think he kicked 5 points and 3 out in the fall against Blackwood, and then came and hit 7-1. So
What else did BJ pass on? Never handball in the goal square because it costs you 100 goals for a season.
That's right.
As he counts, the Ricky Hannum, I think it was. So,
don't handball.
And drink plenty after the game.
Exactly. Well, Daniel, we've been after ages to get you on, so thank you very much for giving us your time. Just quickly, you mentioned about playing against Matty Golding as a coach. I think last week was just his 3rd loss as a coach since he took over Hahndorf in 2018. So pretty good record. Just, as you said, winning all those flags. Obviously, no room for complacency. He changes for the situation. You know what I mean? Like he stays. He's got to stay ahead of the pack, so to speak, as a coach.
Yeah, no, look, he does. I mean, I'm touching it already, but he was such a great player and has such a great understanding of the game. He can read the situation really well. He's not had to fire up too many times over the last few years at us, but
what's it like when he does give you a spray?
Yeah, well,
did you get one the other week against Blackwood?
Well, yeah, we did,
Could
but
you
it
kick
was
yourself
well
out?
deserved. Onkers was probably worse. Yeah,
That's
but,
all the time against
it's a bit
Onkers.
of a reality check,
Really?
What are you doing? Wake up.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. It worked that time, but unfortunately didn't work at Blackwood. But no, look, he's a pretty cool character and great coach, and just knows the game, and we trust in him, and he can't win them all, and sometimes
got the runs.
What's he like after a loss? Just
It's only seen it 3 times.
Pretty quiet. Yeah.
Pretty quiet.
I think his comment was, "It's not a funeral after the Blackwood game."
Okay.
You gotta dwell it on a little bit, but you can't let it completely destroy your weekend and your Saturday. You need to move on and have your thoughts. And
Now, obviously, with your business, Daniel, you're pretty busy. But what do you like to do? How do you like to relax? Obviously, with your background, you like to read a good book.
Oh, that's right. Yep. The book boys got plenty in storage there. Still working through them. Look, to be honest, I don't read too many books these days. My study days I did, but I'm not a casual reader actually. But look, I try and keep pretty active.
That takes through, mate, the fitness. What do you run? What are you pushing at the moment?
Pushing a lot less than I used to, but gym probably 4 or 5 times a week, and I have to run probably 3 or 4 times a week, because if I don't, I blow out pretty quickly. Yeah. Which is unfortunate, and probably going to be pretty big once I finish footy. But
blast from the past, right?
Oh yes, yeah. Wow. There you go.
Don't forget anything.
But oh geez, wow. A bit more hair back then as well. Yeah, right. Afraid the boys and trust them. Apart from that, look, I mean, we keep pretty busy. My partner has a 6-year-old daughter, Harper, and we're very busy when we're out seeing her sport. And of course, my son's playing footy down at St. Peter's and at Hahndorf, and we're.
So you try and get out and see him when you can?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, get to as many games as I can of his, and that keeps us pretty busy.
Are you a fan of the night games? Just in case.
No. Watching him, yes. Playing him, no. Not a huge fan. We played way too many at the start of the year, and was pretty glad to get that behind us. But I can understand as a spectator, it's good, but as a player, no, not a big fan.
And just quickly, as you said, you've been around a few clubs. Hahndorf, just their professionalism, as we mentioned, the live members situation where they have that day. It's fantastic what they do. They give, honour the people who've given to the club, but also all social events they have. It's just a great feel at Hahndorf, isn't it? At the moment, obviously, they're on a roll, so success breeds support, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Interesting comment, because not a lot of clubs do what we do. So 10 years or 200 games. And some people might think that bar's a little bit low, but you've got to realise that we've got a massive growth of life members, and if we're doing fundraisers, drives, etc., we've got all these people behind the club, and I think that's actually part of the key to our success, as well as sort of the junior program. So we're happy for people not to follow what we're doing, but it's a great day, and so happy to be part of it now. And
I know a couple of other clubs have taken on here. You have the life member tossing the coin before, which is great too. Great recognition for those who've made the club so great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, Daniel, he's a great man, and thank you very much. Thanks. Big man, big guest.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. All right,
you want him to do a?
We'll get him afterwards.
Then we can sell him.
Then we can sell them.
Thank you, Daniel.
Actually, might autograph a few books. All right, that's about it from the Huddle. Reform, thanks for joining us. Don't forget Saturday Sports Brief. We'll be back at 11 o'clock.
Any big guests this week?
We'll see what
the week brings.
What it brings up.
We'll see what it brings. And of course, the Call of the Wild this week, as we mentioned, a big game from the Summit, Mount Barker and Loberth.
Yep, and thank you to the sponsors, Mortgage Choice, Adelaide Hills, Fitness Life Studios, and of course, Rowan Mumford and the team there, and Gab Godicke, Adelaide Hills Insurance Brokers.
Absolutely, I think we've got it all covered, and thanks to our listeners and also those who've tuned in on that excellent Facebook stream. Trust you've enjoyed it as well. So that's about it. So until we talk again, Pistol signing off, and keep chasing your goals. See you next time.
He's getting nice and warm there. Thank you.
Well done, Benny.
Just say sting if you can.
Oh, hang on, we've got a... Sarah Brooks says, really enjoying the romance of the family history involved behind the club. What an incredible career, Dan. Impressive. There you go. Thanks, everyone, for listening.